Hi guys, this is a PHP tutorial on the YouTube Data API version 3. So this is how to get your access token, just set up everything really. I'm doing this on macOS, but if you have Windows or Linux, you can also follow along. So let's get into it. Firstly, you need to download XAMPP. I'll leave this link in the description. It's for OS X, Linux and Windows. So you want to download that, install that. Once you've done that, you should get a screen looking like this. You want to go to manage servers and make sure your Apache web server is running. Ignore the other two, just the Apache web server. You can click the start button here. It's grayed out for me because mine's already running, and it should look like this. Now you can just minus out of that and go open your favorite text editor. My one is Atom. File, add project folder. Quick. So applications, XAMPP, and then you'll see htdocs there, and you can just open that. I've already got it open. We want to make a new folder in that. I'm just going to call it yttest. Then I want to make a new file in that. I'm going to call it index.php, and I'm going to be using a sample code to upload a video from this link. I'll leave in the description. If you want to do something else, there's a lot more things here, and also obviously you can build your own. So what this requires of us is a client ID, a client secret, and a video path, obviously. But the main focus here on this tutorial is the client ID and client secret. So the way we can get that, we can go to console.developers.google.com. I'll leave that in the description as well. You want to go up here, new project, create project. You want to name it whatever you want, create, and you probably don't have any other projects here, but make sure that's selected. So I'm just waiting for it to load up, take a few seconds. Make sure you've got it selected up here. It'll say the name, and you want to go to dashboard on the left here. You want to go enable APIs and services, and enable the YouTube Data API, since that's what we're using. Just click there, and then just click enable here. Wait for that to enable, and you can see it is enabled. Now we can create the credentials. Before we do that, we actually need to go here, auth consent screen, and we just need to give it a product name, otherwise it won't let us make them. So here, product name, call it whatever you want, it doesn't matter. Just save that, and it will take us back to our credentials. We can go create credentials, and you want the auth client ID. You want to click on that one. Our type is a web application, call it whatever you want. Authorize JavaScript origins. Well, on XAMPP, since we're using a local server, it's called localhost. So if you just type in localhost, enter, there you can see there's our folder, and that's the URL. So if we copy that and we put it in our here, make sure there's no backslash. You want to get rid of the backslash. And for authorized redirect to URIs, you want to put in the folder and then the file name. So if we copy that, yttest, and then index.php, and you also want to make this redirect URI. I'm going to be using the auth playground, so I'll leave this link in the description as well. Just copy it and bring it over here. Make sure so you have both those as the redirect URI and just the local host as the other one. You want to click create. There we go, creating, and we've got our client ID and our client secret. Before we copy those, we want to install and initialize our project with Composer. Composer is a package manager for PHP. We need this for any Google API you're using in a project. you need to initialize it with Composer. So this link I think is the best one to as a guide to install it. Under install methods, brew doesn't actually work. You want to use downloading directly from the Composer website. Just follow that, not very long. Copy and paste the link in your browser. If you don't have terminal in your sidebar, just spotlight search for it, terminal will come up. Copy the commands, do all of that. It's pretty easy. Once you do that, we can actually initialize the project, and we want to navigate to the YT test file in our terminal. So to do that, you can just type in cd space. You can find the actual file in Finder instead of typing out the path manually. Drag it in, and it will give it to us there. Hit enter, and now we're actually in the YT test folder. Now if you type in Composer init, it should come up like this if you've installed Composer correctly. That should be a command you can type in. Now give the package name any name, really any name. Description, none, just click enter. Author, we want to skip that. Minimum stability, you want to set to dev, dev, enter. Package type is project, enter. License, we don't need anything. Define your dependencies, yes, enter. Search for a package, we want the Google /API client, enter. We want the latest version, so we'll leave it blank, and that will give us the latest version. There we go, 2.2. We don't want to search for another package, so just hit enter. We don't want to define our dev dependencies. We don't want to search for a package, and there will give you a little preview of what the file is going to make. It should look like that if you've done it correctly, and then just type in yes, hit enter, and it will make this composer.json file here that we have. One last thing before we've properly finished though, we want to put in this command: Composer require Google API client 2.0. I'll leave that in the description. You can just copy and paste it into terminal, hit enter, and just wait for that to do its thing. So once that's done, shouldn't take more than a couple minutes. You should have a vendor folder here and a composer.lock. Again, don't worry about those. We are done initializing our project. So now what we need to do is we can copy and paste in our client ID and our client secret now. So if you want to go back in there, web client one, and just copy that, just paste it there, and copy that and just paste it there and save that. Now one last step before we finish is we need to go to the OAuth 2.0 playground, and we want to get a refresh token. Now what this means is our access token is going to expire pretty soon, in an hour or a day or so, but we want it to last forever. So if you want it to last forever, if you want to get a refresh token, that's what they call it, we go to the URL that we added as a URI that I put in the description. You want to click all of these. Since we are, usually you'd only need YouTube upload, but since there's no security for, we're just running this on our server, it's fine. We can choose all of them in case you do something else with the YouTube data API. Click authorize APIs. It will forward you to sign into Google. Just sign in with a Gmail account or your Google account. And we've authorized our APIs. Now we can exchange the authorization code for tokens. So if you just wait for it to load, it'll bring us up to that. That's authorization code, exchange for tokens. And there you'll see we have our refresh token. And if we go, so ignore step 3. If we go here, that's our refresh token. And just copy that. So copy the refresh token, and you want to add this one line of code: $client, and then a line, and then the arrow, so line and then greater than, and you want to type in refresh token, and you want to set it to that, so in single quotes, and paste in, save, and that's our refresh token done. Now if you had multiple users using this, so say you had this open to the world and they could choose an MP4 file on their computer and they'd upload it, then you'd need multiple access tokens for each user, and you'd save them in the database and you'd get the code here and you'd automate that. I'm going to make a tutorial on that later on. It'll be using the Instagram API, but it's roughly the same idea, and once you watch that you should be able to get an idea of what to do here. It includes step 3, but we don't need to do that for now. It's just us uploading a video and we should be done. So if we go to so if we go to YT test, wait for it to load. Oh, line 38. It's weird. Oh, sorry. Don't forget your semicolons, Jesus. Oh, also, sorry. Semicolon and also the video path. So I've already got an MP4 file somewhere. And instead of typing in the path, we can just bring it directly in with our other files. And then we can just type in the name instead of having to type in a whole path and stuff. So we can just type in test MP4, the name of your MP4 file. Sorry about that. Okay, save. And now we should be good to go if we hit enter. Wait for that to load. There we go, video uploaded. The test title as well you can set. Obviously that's just a weird string of characters. You can set that in here as well. But yeah, basically in principle you have uploaded the video. If I go to my Google account, in a couple of minutes it should be uploaded. Sorry, my YouTube account. If we go go create my channel. And here we go, we've got 3 test titles. Actually that's from before when I was doing tests, but yeah, there you go. Obviously this isn't a very practical example. This isn't like, oh, I should use this instead of going to the actual YouTube website I'm uploading. Now you can actually use the API and you can build whatever you want. As aforementioned, if you have multiple users and you need multiple access tokens or refresh tokens, be covering that in another tutorial coming up as aforementioned. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. Leave some hate comments in the comment section so I can get more views, make a hates comment video.